The idea of being God's trust fund baby, just the feeling gives me butterflies. It's like, oh, manifesting such a great relationship with God that everything is answered immediately whenever I need. I get thrown this lavish luxury lifestyle. But once again, I'm gonna let you know from the beginning that being a trust fund baby, it sounds catchy. It sounds good. It sounds good, especially being a trust fund baby for God. It sounds catchy, but that's just not how it is in the Bible. That's just not how it works. However, you can build a lifestyle slightly attuned to being what it would be thought of as a trust fund baby, and you can also build that lifestyle on earth for your kids. And so in this video, I'll be going over some tips. I'll also be going over how it looks on a biblical level. Before we get into the tips, we're going to go over how it looks on a biblical level. I gotta set you guys straight before I give you the information to help you out as well. So to start out with what God actually says in the Bible, especially starting in the New Testament, believers are considered children of God and their heirs. Romans 8:17. The focus is on purpose, identity, eternal life, and spiritual inheritance. And that spiritual inheritance, once again, is that peace, that wisdom, and that strength. You feel me? Alright, so it's not guaranteed money, luxury, or an easy life. In fact, many key figures like Jesus, Paul, and the apostles literally live with very little materially and still emphasize faith, discipline, and service. What it feels like in a grounded sense would be a sense of direction, inner peace, even during stress, and confidence, having life's meaning. Feeling support doesn't necessarily mean that you have a physical support or a monetary support. It's more mentally and emotionally. So that's what the inheritance is actually like. Everybody wants to be a trust fund baby, but there's not actually what the Bible teaches. And a trust fund baby gets their money without responsibility. Being a child of God comes with purpose, discipline, and accountability. In the Bible, you're not promised luxury. You're always going to be promised identity. You're called to be an heir, but not an heir of cash. Once again, you're going to be an heir of peace, wisdom, strength, and eternal life. Look at Jesus. No mansion, no riches, no easy life, but complete authority, clarity, and purpose. Paul the Apostle, which I just spoke about before, he went through a struggle. He went through pressure, he went through setbacks, but he still moved with discipline. He still moved with clarity. He still moved with purpose. So what does it actually look like to be God's child in real life? It means you wake up with direction, not confusion. It means you move with discipline, not excuses. Your life is going to be built like by someone that is entrusting you, because it has. God doesn't just give out shortcuts. He doesn't just give you a capacity. He expects you to build at that capacity. So instead of asking, why don't I have more? Why wasn't I handed all these riches? Why wasn't I handed all this glory? Why don't I have all this fame? What are you doing with what you already have? That's the mental shift. It's about becoming someone that can handle more. You want to feel rich? Build your mind to be rich. You want to get money? Strengthen your habits. You want to stay consistent, but then say it's boring? Because real inheritance isn't something that you're simply given. It's something that you grow, you manage, and you multiply. So if I give you $100 and you say, that $100 wasn't nothing, I spent that the same day. Why didn't you take the chance to multiply what I gave you? That's how you have to be looking at things. So now that we're done with that portion, I want to get into the actual tips that you can do to build yourself a life that you're actually looking for, one that you want to see. So you want to see your fruits multiplied from. All right, so I think it's all fun stuff, but we are going to get to the fun stuff. And in the fun stuff, we're talking about switching our mindsets and switching our income to our assets. How are you going to switch your income over to an asset? A real trust fund baby doesn't just depend on income week to week, day to day, monthly to monthly. He depends on his assets to making more money, and that's the money that they live off of. So your goal is not just to make money. Your goal is to build things that pay you when you're not working. Examples are index funds, EFTs, real estate, digital income, content, skills, services, things like that. Opening an investment account with Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, and setting up automatic weekly investing, even if it's 10, just $10, $50 a month, that's gonna get you rolling down the hill. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to build a slippery slope. We're trying to put that little pebble on there and watch it turn into a boulder. You feel me? All right. So building, that's just number one. So number one was switching our targets. We're not targeting income. We're targeting assets. We're trying to build our assets up. So for those of you who watched the other video that I talked about saving, we're saving our money, we're putting them in a savings account, we're waiting for our interest on our savings account to turn that money into money, and then we're investing that money, and then that money that's invested produces dividends, and we're using those dividends to pay off our bills. I know it sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but with consistency, it's very, very easy, and then you make a lot of money. So it might not be a lot of money to you. It might be a lot more money to someone who's never seen their dividends produce cash and be able to pay their gas for them. So just simple gas, having a simple extra gas money load around for you, that seems like something to me. So I feel like you should appreciate whatever you're able to make as you go along this journey. Number two, we're going to build a high income skill. So I know that sounded like a lot. We're going to build a high income skill. This is going to be your engine, okay? You don't pick just one job when you're trying to live rich, and you don't just live off of savings alone. You need some type of income. And right now today, I would say that there's probably about 5 high income jobs that are going to probably get you to where you want to go. We're starting off with sales. This is the fastest path to a high income, because you don't really put a cap on sales. If you ever worked in the sales industry, then you know that you can't put a cap on commission. Number two, say the second one would be content creation. We're going to be coming to a point where content creation has become more stable than it's ever been. Number three is a skilled trade. We're talking electrician, HVAC, remodeling, that type of thing. Number four, I hate to say this, and I know that some of you guys don't want to hear this, but AI, tech, data, and IT support. This is going to be your bread and butter. We're coming to a place in life where everyone is needing some type of technological support. So this is definitely going to be your bread and butter. And then your last one is property management. If you already have some type of managing skills, if you lean into management or office, any of that, so this is going to also be another bread and butter for you. So you can start today, focus on 1 hour of training in any of these skills that interest you, and try to figure out, if you're not in the field, how you can go about getting into this field. Number three, control your spending like you already have the wealth. I cannot say this enough times. If you want to be wealthy, how would you act if you were wealthy? What would you spend your time on? What would you spend your money on? Act like you're already in that headspace. Live on 70% less of your income. If you were, let's say you're a millionaire, and you're a millionaire at 30 and you want to retire at 35, how would you divvy up your money so that you would never have to work again? You know that you have to spend, let's say, $2,000 a month on rent. We could do it right now. So you have $1 million. You have $1 million. You know you need $2,000 a month on rent. You know you need at least $200 a month for gas. You know you need another $120 for your phone bill and all that. Let's say that sums up to about $3,000 to $5,000 a month. how many months is that $1,000,000 going to last you, and how are you going to have to budget to make sure that $1,000,000 lasts you? You need to be living at the lowest of means that you can to make that money spread out. So you need to start doing things like that now so that you're able to get the money that you want later. If you could immediately put $10 or $25 in your savings now, as well as turn off all those unnecessary subscriptions that you don't use, that just collect money every week. I know right now I have a car wash subscription, and I barely take my car to go out there to get washed. I save so many coins to wash my car, so I don't need that $40 subscription. They don't clean it as well as I do anyway. So it's just simple things like that that you can do to make your life easier and to save money further on. Number 4, build ownership thinking. Build that mindset where trust fund wealth equals ownership of things. Not I work a job, but say I build income streams. Today, write down one thing that you could build that without hourly work: a YouTube channel, a side service like cleaning, consulting, tutoring, a digital product, or skill offering. Then commit to posting 3 times this week, whether it's for posting for the actual side service, whether it's posting for the digital project, or if it's just having a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel. However you want to do it, just make sure that you're using that commitment and you're using that time wisely. Number 5, the daily identity shift. This is underrated. Rich people don't think like employees. They think differently. It's a daily rule that you have to ask yourself, what did I build for myself today that's going to pay me later? Even small wins count. Learning, investing, applying for jobs, creating. Those are the things. And the honest truth is, you don't become trust fund rich overnight. You become it through consistency, asset building, income growth, and discipline. And I'm going to say it like this. At the end of the day, the time is going to pass anyway. So if it takes 10 years to get rich, that time's going to pass whether you put in the work or not. So if it's going to pass, you might as well put in and invest into it. If you like videos like this, make sure you come back. We're doing a whole series on trust fund babies, Nepo. If you haven't seen the Nepo baby video, go ahead and watch that video. The next video will be very interesting. I would give you all away the title, but I want those that are on Instagram are definitely going to see the title before you guys do. All right. Thank you guys. And again, if you have any questions, make sure you drop them down below. I have an email in my bio. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.